The Rafah border crossing has now been closed on the Palestinian side by the Israelis. And we'll cross over to Rafah and speak to Sam Rose, who's UNRWA's Director of Planning. Thank you for your time, Mr. Rose. Tell us what impact this border crossing has had. The closure of the crossing, I should say.
Yeah, the closure of the crossing since Sunday is having catastrophic impacts on everyone in Gaza. Since October, this has been the main entry point for goods coming into Gaza. There has only been a trickle of goods coming in. And since Sunday, the crossing has been closed completely. And this has devastating impacts for the people of Gaza, who are already on the verge of famine. So no aid coming in means no aid distributed after a couple of days. And equally importantly, Rafah, Kerem Shalom are the only entry point for fuel in Gaza. So without the fuel, there's no ability for trucks to move around. There's no ability for desalination plants to operate and provide safe water. There's no electricity. It cuts off everything. Rafah, Kerem Shalom, they're the lifeblood for the small amounts of goods that have been coming into Gaza since October. So absolutely devastating.
So as UNRWA, what would you say your biggest concern is right now with all of this happening?
I mean, it's very difficult to nail it down to one concern. We have a major concern, as I said, about fuel, because without fuel, there is no water. But we also have a major concern and are deeply concerned about the humanitarian impacts of the operation, which appears to be starting in eastern Rafah, and what that will mean for people who've already endured so much. 100,000 people in the evacuation area itself, but many more in the surrounding areas who are choosing to move. So real humanitarian consequences and real concerns about the continuity of our operations. We have fuel for about half a day's worth of operations. That's the entire humanitarian community inside Gaza. So if the crossing is closed for any extended duration, it will be devastating, as I said.
What does the closure mean for your teams in Rafah? Will your teams be evacuating? And how do you see UNRWA being able to continue its work?
No, we are staying where we are inside Rafah. We have a small number of installations inside the evacuation area, but our main operations in Rafah are in Tel Sultan, close to the beach. We are staying exactly where we are. We have teams across the Gaza Strip, several thousand staff working on any given day. We will stay where we are. The issue is our ability to continue delivering over any sustained duration of time if those crossing points remain closed.
What are you calling for? What's the message you want to send out to the international community?
The message is that this has to come to an end, that the ceasefire has to be agreed. There has to be an unconditional handover of hostages. It's 7 months today we are marking of this horrific conflict. It needs to come to an end now. More immediately, all steps need to be taken to secure passage of goods and passage of fuel through the Rafah Kerem Shalom crossings.
Okay, Sam Jones, thank you so much for your time and thanks for speaking to us from Rafah.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.